Selling. Welcome to the monthly Ninja Sales Meeting. We appreciate you joining us. Our topic today is the mindset behind TSW. Before we get started, what day is this? You got it. It's another day in paradise. Or as Paul Simon says, these are the days of miracle and wonder. It's an opportunity for us to give thanks for the day. So what are your gratitudes for today? If you're with somebody, share with them what that gratitude is. If you're by yourself, just say it to yourself or jot it down. What I'm grateful for today is the amazing people we have an opportunity to meet through Ninja. Last month in September, we had our Ninja installation here in Fort Collins. We had 95 Ninjas there from 24 states and countries. You can see from, here's the commencement. Right after commencement ceremony, they are out in our patio. We have another installation coming up starting tomorrow, and we have one more left this year in November. So if you've ever had a desire to come to Colorado, we'd love to have you join us. At this installation last week, we had 11 Ninjas from Barbados, and they brought great energy to the class. We enjoyed their British accents, and it was a fun thing. And you can tell they're having a good time as well. So let's jump in. What is the mindset behind TSW? Well, some of you, most of you know what TSW stands for. It stands for the system works, but some of you may not be familiar. You may be new to Ninja, and so the system works. You're probably asking yourself, well, what is the system? So let me briefly describe. The system is, the core part of the system is something we call the Ninja 9. It's 5 daily habits, 4 weekly habits. Just a quick review. Again, get up in the morning, give thanks, do your gratitudes and your affirmations. The gratitudes put you in a positive energy state, and the affirmations remind you of your goals. Number 2, time block your day and your week. Take your to-do list and schedule it. Number 3, write 2 personal notes, and we would recommend that you add some personal text messages to that as well. Habit number 4 then is to pull out your hot list. This is a list of people that want to buy or sell in the next 90 days. And then pull out your warm list. This is a group that wants to buy or sell. You think they want to buy or sell sometime in the next year. This will take you about 15 to 30 minutes each morning. So it's your 5 daily habits, and then your 4 weekly habits. You want to time block a time to do these. They'll take usually 2 to 4 hours a week. Habit number 6 is your customer service calls. Calling all of your sellers, your under contract buyers, your active buyers, anybody who's referred you business to thank them for the referral. Customer service calls. Number 7 is your real estate reviews. We recommend that you have at least 2 live real estate reviews each week. You can do more than that, and you can do some by mail, but at least 2 live. Number 8 is your 50 live interviews. Now, a lot of times people panic on the 50 live and they think, are these 50 sales calls? No, these are interviews where you ask forward questions. How's the family? Occupation, how's everything at work? Recreation, what are you doing for fun? Dreams, anything about the future. And such as, what are your plans for the weekend? What are your plans for the holidays? All of your habit number 6, your client service calls, they count in your 50. Your live interviews count in your 50. The 7 people who come through your open house, they count. The 4 people you saw at the game, they count. So it's very easy to get 50 live interviews each week. And then finally, update your database and look for property matches. I'm going to put a star beside habits 6, 7, and 8. And you're probably wondering why. Well, what we know is habits 6, 7, and 8 are your best business generators. So if you don't have enough business, if you want to generate more business, habits 6, 7, and 8 will take you there. What we know is this: if we focus on productive activities, if we focus on the Ninja 9, the production will take care of itself. So rather than obsessing about your production, focus instead on your activities, and the production will take care of itself. You're probably asking, some of you, well, where did the Ninja 9 come from? What's the history of the Ninja 9? Well, a lot of it was developed in the laboratory here at the Group Real Estate Company in northern Colorado. Our company was identified by Real Trends as the most productive real estate company in America in terms of transactions per associate. And over a period of years, we developed this thing we call the Ninja 9. This is a photo of all of our partners at the group. You notice they're wearing sunglasses. We just came out of a meeting where the theme was, the future is so bright we have to wear shades. This was where most of it was developed and experimented with. Another source was Howard Brinton. Old timers will remember Howard. He had a program called Star Power. I like to think of Howard as the Napoleon Hill of real estate. Napoleon Hill was sent on assignment by Andrew Carnegie to interview the most successful people of that time, people like Henry Ford and John D. Rockefeller, and then to document their success and print it. And he did in a book called The Law of Success. That book, if you read it, is almost 1,000 pages. He then published a digest of it called Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the most successful books ever written. Well, Howard was a lot like Napoleon Hill. He would travel around the country, identifying the very top salespeople in our industry, and he would interview them, and he would document their success. He says, success leaves clues. And you could subscribe to his program. It started out with cassette tapes and then later CDs. And I was actually fortunate enough to be one of Howard's stars in April of 1998. That led to me teaching in Star Power University, and I was introduced to some of the most amazing real estate people I've ever met, most amazing people in our industry. And what I noticed was, guess what? They're doing the Ninja 9. So I think the Ninja 9 has a lot of science behind it, a lot of obviously a proven track record behind it. And so what we like to think of is Ninja 9 is what we call a trend bender. You may not be familiar with that term. What is a trend bender? A trend bender is when you're watching a salesperson and each year they're doing a little bit better. They have nice progress. And then all at once, you'll see this surge where they do a breakaway. And you say, wow, what happened right here? And many times when we sit down and look at what happened, they started doing what? They started doing Ninja 9. And the Ninja 9 began to work for them. And so the system began to work. Here's an example from this year. Melissa was, she's from Northridge, Ohio. Last year, she did $3.5 million in volume. In February of this year, she was introduced to Ninja through the Ninja installation, and she started doing the Ninja 9. Look what happened very quickly for her. By April, she had done more in volume in the month of April than she did the entire year before. Again, it was a trend bender for her. One of my good friends in Denver is Delroy Gill. And Delroy was named the top individual broker for NAREB 3 years in a row. Now, NAREB is the Black Realtor Association. And Delroy is the top realtor in the United States in that association for 3 years in a row. He says, by consistently practicing the Ninja 9, I shifted my focus from chasing transactions to actually cultivating deeper relationships. My average sales price climbed from $1.75 million to $2 million in 2024, not by working harder, but by working smarter and serving at a higher level. So if you're not doing Ninja 9, we would recommend that you get started because Ninja 9 is what causes the system to work. The system works when you work the system, which is really the big question that I get from a lot of ninjas. How can I be consistent in working this? I know the system works, but how do I develop the habits and the consistency to keep working it? Well, that's really the topic and hopefully the solution we're going to offer you in today's session. What is the mindset that you have to have behind the scenes to work the system so that the system works for you? Well, I think one of the most important things to know is that the Ninja system is more like farming than it is hunting and gathering. A lot of salespeople, they want to be like a hunter and gatherer. They want to go out and shoot something and drag it home and eat it that night. Ninja is more like farming. So you plant seeds. It takes a while for those seeds to germinate. You have to water and tend to them. Then they sprout. they grow, and ultimately you have a harvest, but it takes time. If you start working the Ninja 9, my experience is you probably won't see results in the first week, the first 2 weeks. You'll probably start to see results in the third or fourth week. And then you'll see this explosion of business, and you'll see this trend bender. So a lot of salespeople, they don't have the patience to wait a week or 2 or 3 or 30 days. They want instant gratification. And so this is really the mindset that you need to have behind the Ninja system for it to work for you. Let's break this down. We operate in a very simple business. There's really 2 parts to it. One part is doing the business, which is, listing houses, selling houses, negotiating contracts. What I find is most salespeople are pretty good at that. And you can train them within, 30 to 60 days, a rookie, to be pretty good at doing the business. The biggest challenge most of them have is what? Generating the business. That's where they need help. And that's where the system, the Ninja 9 system, really is designed to help you. Let me share with you kind of the difference in the context. So the difference between doing and generating the business, let's start with the context. When you're working with a client and you're doing the business, the client always responds. If you call them to let them know about a showing, if you call to let them know about a change in the market, you have a question, they're going to get right back to you. They respond immediately. But if you're generating the business, if you send them, for example, a personal note, or you send them some of your auto flow, they rarely respond. And so because you get a rare response, the natural inclination is to stop doing it. I didn't get anything immediately out of it, so I'm just going to stop. Well, you need to have the mindset of a ninja to keep going. You're farming. You're watering your crops. You're fertilizing, okay? Another thing is your role. Now, if you think about your role in a transaction, if you call your seller or you call your buyer, they're going to respond immediately. They're very responsive if they're involved in doing the business. But on generating the business, you have to be proactive. You have to be writing those notes, doing the real estate reviews, doing the customer service calls, doing your 50 live. You have to be proactive. And let's talk about results. When you're in a transaction with somebody, the results are fairly immediate. I mean, once you write a contract, you're probably going to have a closing within 30 days. But when you're generating the business, the results are in the future. It might be 30 days. It might be 60 days. It might be sometime this year or next. But you have to have that mindset. That is the mindset that you need. And that's the mindset behind TSW. F.M. Alexander reminds us that people do not decide their futures. They decide their habits. And their habits decide their futures. So if you're doing the Ninja 9, if you're working the system, you'll get the results. If you don't work the system, you won't get the Ninja results. It's as simple as that. This is why we call them the 9 habits. 9 success habits, 5 daily habits, 4 weekly habits. If I was to come up with one word to describe the mindset you need to be successful as a ninja, it would be the word grit. And if you look at the definition, it's the ability to carry through on a commitment, knowing it works, but not knowing when the results will happen, but having faith that it works and being willing to continue to work it until you see the results. That's what we call grit. And that's really the mindset behind TSW. If you want TSW, then you have to have the mindset behind it, which I would say in one word would be the word grit. Let me offer you some ways to maintain grit. We know what grit is. In fact, just the word grit is what gets me going in the morning. I have a certain morning routine. Some mornings I get up and I'm just not feeling it. And I say to myself, do I have the grit? And that gets me going. And there are some other ways to help you maintain grit as well. Remembering your why. What's most important to you? What are your goals? Remembering those goals. That will help you maintain your grit and keep going. Join a mastermind group. Get a group together. I know many ninjas that are once a week, they have a group that they get together. And many times they rehearse. Sometimes it's called a scripts group or a accountability group or a mastermind group. This will help you. Get involved in the right tribe. Number 3 is gamification. What can you do to gamify this? Let's say maybe I set a goal to see how many notes I can write this week or this month. You know, this is October, and we're coming upon what we call the real estate review season. There's a time, real estate reviews are effective all throughout the year, but there's a time of the year that we have found is most effective. Typically, it's November, December, and January. We're coming up on real estate review season. What would happen if you had a real estate review contest in your office? Maybe a real estate review contest in your mastermind group, or maybe even gamify just with yourself. I was with a ninja yesterday who set a goal for next month to do 100 real estate reviews because she knows that really launches next year. Number 4 would be tracking your activities. Do you have a scorecard where you track how many notes you write? If you're using the Ninja Planner, it's got a scorecard in there for you. And you can track your hot list, your warm list, your real estate reviews, your 50 live, your customer service calls. All of it is right there. And the research shows that if you're tracking your activities, you're more likely to keep doing them. And then finally, get a coach. A coach will help you stay on purpose, help you focus on those activities, and you'll start to get the results. Coaching is very, very effective. A lot of people need help. And you know what? Another choice for you, if you're not ready for coaching, is find what we call an encouragement partner or accountability partner. Let me share with you an example. This is what we call a Daruma Doll. This is a Japanese goal-setting doll. And the way it works is this. You set it on the desk in front of you, someplace where you'll see it every single day. When you set your goal, you color in one eye. And then when you achieve and it sits there and stares at you every day until you achieve the goal, in which case you can color in the other eye. Now, I was given my first Daruma Doll by a great ninja in Las Vegas, Nevada, by the name of Lee Barrett. He says, are you familiar with these Japanese goal-setting dolls? I wasn't. He gave me one. And so this is my first doll. At the time, I was struggling trying to finish the Ninja Selling book. And this doll sat there and stared at me every single day until I got the book done. And the day it arrived, the day I had my hands on the book, what did I do? I colored in the other eye. You can get these Daruma Dolls on Amazon. Okay, if you really like that idea, it's another way to help keep you motivated and help to maintain grit. This is Brandy Broadley. She's in Fort Collins, Colorado. She's with the Group Real Estate Company. You can see she's celebrating here with her Daruma Doll. And what Brandy is celebrating is this. She just broke $500,000 in gross commission income. That's a goal she told me she had for 5 years. So that Daruma Doll had sat on her desk for 5 years. Now, she's always been a really good producer, but she had never broken through that $500,000 number, and she finally did. And when she did that and she was celebrating, I said, well, Brandy, what did you do different this year? And she says, you know what? I had an encouragement partner. Megan was my encouragement partner. We met every week. We helped each other. And I got to give Megan credit for helping me achieve my goal this year. So again, that encouragement partner can be very, very critical to your success, to help you maintain your grit, to help you stay on the path. Because what we know is this: the system works, but what? It only works when you work the system. And you'll work the system if you have the mindset of TSW, which is the grit. That's the mindset that's running behind TSW. What I notice is the people that are getting the results, they have the grit. You can have the grit too. Just focus on it. What you focus on expands. So that's our message for this week's sales meeting. Let me ask you this. What was the one thing, the one sentence that was your best takeaway from this meeting? Jot that down. Focus on grit for this next month. And may every day be another day in paradise for you. Thank you for joining us for our monthly Ninja Sales Meeting. We'll see you next time.